So on today's video, I'm gonna create a virtual machine, a Windows virtual machine on Microsoft Azure. I'm gonna guide you guys how you can do that too. So if you click the menu and create resources, there are like a lot of categories of resources that you can create. From there, please select compute and then a virtual machine, and then it will take you to like a configuration place. Here you can select the subscription that you want to choose. For my case, I want to use this subscription that I have, and then you can choose a resource group that you already have, or you can just create one. So what a resource group is, a virtual machine comes with a lot of other resources like networking cards, storage stuff, IP module, and etc. So a resource group, what it does is it puts all the things in one place so that it helps you to manage. So let's create this. I just want to name it soft ether, because I later want to use this virtual machine for to test out this soft ether VPN. So I'm gonna name it soft ether VPN win. I'm gonna copy that. Now for my case, I also want to name the virtual machine the same, but you can always have something different there. Now you can create this virtual machine in a bunch of places. For me, I just want to create that in Asia Pacific, Southeast Asia, and I don't want any infrastructure redundancy for this because it's just a test thing. If you want, you can have different infrastructure redundancies here, which I will explain in later videos. And for the image, I would like to, the Ubuntu is like default selected. I just want to use Windows 10 Enterprise. So let's search for that. It's 10 Enterprise in edition. Yeah, there it is. So it says the value must be between. Oh, there you go. So spelling mistake here, but not a big problem. So now I'm gonna choose the size of the virtual machine. The size is basically what do you want for the RAM, the processor, and the GPU, and etc. So here you can see that I just want to go with this $9.8 virtual machine, which has like 320 IOPS on the and 2 data disks. Great, 1 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 virtual core. All right. So if it doesn't work, I can always scale it up. So I just want to have a username. I mean, by default, Windows virtual machines do not support SSH. They prefer RDPs. But if you had like created a Ubuntu or a Linux one, then you could get like by default SSH connection. But you can always enable and disable them. So it goes in there. So public inbound ports, yes, I want to allow RDP. If you want others like HTTP and HTTPS, you can also select that. I just now for now I can select that. Later I can like not unselect them, and I don't want SSH for this because I've got already RDP. So let's go to the disks part. It comes with a premium disk, so I just don't want to change it. I mean, some virtual machines on some regions do not support all the things, so I just want to go with the premium SSD. For the networking part, there is like one thing that you should be aware of, like the public IP. By default, the public IP is not static, it's dynamic. You want to have a static IP, because or else you will have to always copy the IP address from the dashboard to log in. And then that's it for this part. On the next part, we've got this management stuff. I don't want boot diagnostic, because boot diagnostic would require you to have another storage account, and that will cost you something. So I just don't want that, because I'm not doing anything where boot diagnostic is important. I also don't want auto shutdown. I mean, this is a really nice feature. Like if you're using the virtual machines when you don't want them, like if you don't want them to run when for a certain time, let's say you're sleeping and you're not doing any public service with the virtual machine, so you can just hit it like stop, because stopping it will save you a lot of money, because since the virtual machines here are charged hourly, so you can do that. Just turn it off, and in the advanced section there's nothing much, so you can go to the tags, you can put tags here, and then you can review and create. So it's going to validate whether all the things that I have chosen are correct for my subscription, my account, my region, and also the data center region and the resources. So it seems that it has passed the validation, so I'm just going to go and hit create. It's going to create and it's going to take some time. So the virtual machine is being deployed, has been deployed. So I'll go to the resource, and here you can find all the information about the virtual machine. There's this public IP, and you can connect with the public IP, or you can just download a file that will give you the RDP file, and you can connect with the RDP file directly. So if you download that, this is like a feature for the Windows machine. It's quite easy. You just open the file and place connect. It's gonna ask you for some things here. Sometimes what happens here is that it's for some reason the RDP actually uses your Windows machine that you're running personally. It uses its username by default, so you can change that with more choices and use a different account, and you're going to put on the username that you have defined or while you were creating the virtual machine, and you're going to put on the password, and then I'm going to press OK. I'm just going to connect. It's going to ask you that do you press the certificate that's been thrown from the virtual machine. You're going to say yes, and it's going to configure remote session and everything, and voila, there you go. I have chose 1 gigabytes of RAM and one virtual core, so that's the consequences. So this is the consequences of choosing those configurations. The VM is extremely slow for RDP users. All right, so whatever, and voila, you're inside your virtual machine. Slow as you know, it's very slow. Anyways, now you know how you can connect with your virtual machine. So I'm just gonna minimize that for my future use. And the thing that I was going to show you is that you can go to research groups and find you can find the research group that you created. So this is what I was talking about earlier. That a virtual machine creates a lot of other modules. So this one is for the security purpose. This one is for the IP. This one is the network interface card. This one is the storage one. This one is the VPN. And this is the virtual network which is used by this virtual machine to use the resources inside the data center. So you're gonna this is gonna all of this are gonna create separately, so that you can modify that individually if you want for your need. And a resource group helps you to keep all those things in one place. Well, I hope you like the video and stay tuned for more future videos.